And you know I hate to say, but it's just that love is so hard. And sometimes I don't know who we are.
Hello everyone, we're rapidly approaching my final semester at uni, and with 3 years of experience now, I decided I wanted to share some of my productivity and study tips for you to ace this upcoming semester. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, I have some productivity hacks to make you work smarter and more efficiently.
First up is identity, your home screen on the internet who are very kindly sponsoring today's video. Identity is basically the perfect solution to all the digital chaos that takes place on our computers, from having your files and notes spread across multiple different systems and having a million tabs open simultaneously. The identity website helps me organize everything I do online in a beautifully designed space, which saves me time and makes me more productive. So how do I use identity? Well, let's run through it together. No, actually, before we get started, you need to know that every single web page or platform that you add to your identity homepage is called a tile. Got it? Let's begin. You can search for specific tiles, notes, or categories, or you can search by category or use this category drop-down menu as you see here. You can then click on any tile to launch your website, and if you have to log in, then Identity automatically copies the password and you can just use Ctrl-V to paste it in. I also use Identity to include notes, which I store due dates in, to-dos, and tiles that are important for that note. And finally, I also integrated my Google Calendar so I can see my daily plans on here too. I love Identity, and I love that every single time I open my browser window, I see all the websites that are relevant to me, my notes, my calendar. I have everything in one place. So if you want to make your digital life more productive too, then check out the link in my description box to download Identity and make a free account. A tip that I absolutely live by is doing bulk work. It's kind of become this really important thing in the sphere of content creation, but if you're a student, you might not know it, so let me explain it to you. Bulk work is essentially combining a lot of similar tasks into one bulk and doing them all at once. So how could you incorporate bulk work into your day-to-day? Instead of going back and forth between your schoolwork, between maybe your part-time job and your society stuff, try to devote a set amount of hours every day to do all that stuff for that individual category. Devote those 5 hours to school and only focus on schoolwork. Don't reply to emails, don't do anything else, only do the necessary stuff for school. Then you devote 1 hour to doing all those minor things like answering emails, replying to messages about your society stuff, filling out those forms you had to do. You basically just bulk similar tasks together and it will help make you more efficient. Do you have a lot of readings? Me too. I actually did not understand 1, how to do my readings, and 2, how to organize my readings, and 3, use my readings before my second year of uni. It's not uncommon for students to just have no idea what to do with readings because I don't know about you, but I wasn't taught how to organize it or use it or whatever during high school. So that's something I had to learn in uni, and a readings table is something that has made me so much more productive, both when reading my readings, but also when revising for exams and writing assignments, because I can just easily go back, find the information that I'm looking for, rewrite it, quote it. So let's go through how I do my readings table. I have it all on Notion. You could probably easily do it on other platforms as well. This was my readings table for my leadership module that I had last year. So in the beginning of the year, I add in this little table and then I fill it out throughout the year. The first property I have is if the text is read or not. The second is the week this was due in. We have the title of the reading. I also normally comment some small notes about the reading if it isn't completely clear. Then I say whether it's an article or a textbook or anything else. And the final property is how to cite it. And then I put in the APA citation method. Let's click on one of these. Yeah, let's click on leadership success. I write about the findings, the method that was used, some other important information that I found during the text, some screenshots, some evidence. I often put in if there's like tables or images. So why does this help? How do I use it? When I'm, let's say, writing an essay, I normally have a topic that I'm writing about, right? And this refers to some of the weeks of lectures or maybe all the lectures that we've had in that module. I go back to my readings table, I look at the title of the reading or the comment that I have, I click on it, and in these I have enough direct quotes and enough information from the text to use that in my essay. And so I copy paste or I reformulate what my notes said, and then when I've used that source to build my argument, I just copy paste the APA citation method, and then I've used that text in my reading. Sometimes I do need to go to the document and see what else was written. Then I also have the links to the file in this readings table. So basically all the readings that I'm demanded to do throughout the whole module are put into this readings table. They're organized. This readings table saves me a lot of time. Good morning. Every morning I have my smoothie and I eat my breakfast. I plan out my day, every single task that I'm going to be doing throughout the day. I normally also, before the week starts, have a list of things that I need to do. For example, watch a lecture, that module, watch another lecture in that module. For university, I like to put really concrete tasks, so I feel like they're easy to handle. If you want your to-do list to be productive, it should be concrete tasks, not just one task that's like do an essay. That won't motivate you. For me today, a small concrete task is watching the lecture of my module Business and Entrepreneurship in China. And then I also want to get organized for that module because it's still the beginning of term 2 for me. I want to edit a little bit on this video and the list goes on. Another tip that I have for being productive with to-do lists is starting with the hardest tasks, so the tasks that take the most brain capacity. I'm doing the lecture first because watching a lecture, remembering and taking notes takes a little bit of brain capacity. I think it's a kind of an intensive task. However, editing a video is something that I find fun. I can do it even though I have no energy, I have no focus. If you don't plan out your study days from before, try it out and I promise you'll feel more productive. Cheers.
Now, let's get into some study hacks to stay motivated, make studying feel easier, faster, and more enjoyable. So as I go through my to-do list, which consists of many small concrete tasks that normally take like 1 hour to 2 hours, I like to reward myself for every box that I tick basically, because I know if I have a reward, small or big, which I will unlock when I finish the task, I'll be motivated to finish it and I won't just stop halfway and call it a day. A reward can be anything from, you guessed it, a small little snack, but rewards can also be other minor things like going to fill your water bottle, getting a coffee and going on a 20-minute break, taking a break and walking through campus. Set a reward for when you finish one of your to-do list tasks and don't reward yourself with a reward until you actually finish the task. Make sense? Cool. Universities are normally massive. They have tons of libraries, tons of study spaces. There's probably a space you haven't explored yet, or there's definitely a place you don't go every day that you can go to and then catch the motivation from there. This is my library, but it's actually not the library that I go to when I go to study every day. As you guys would know if you follow my videos, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna study in the infamous study room.
I've been trying, and I notice you've been pacing like I do when I'm removed from my own mind. Baby, we're not alike, and I wonder if you're feeling.
When I find a new spot in this library, I'm always met with like this newfound motivation and just energy because I'm not here often. My brain is not used to the space that I'm studying in. Sometimes we can get very unmotivated by habit, or at least it's not motivating, so yeah.
What you see.
I actually get a lot of inspiration and motivation by talking to people I know, people that are in my module, about the essay or the exam or tutorial that we're going to write about. For instance, last week I was so unmotivated to start my essay. I had no ideas what to do. I had no inspiration. I decided to text 2 of the people that were in my module. I asked them how they were doing with the essay, what thoughts they had. So I got to hear their thoughts about the assignment. Then suddenly my mind would spark with all these ideas about the assignment. And furthermore, 2 brains work better than 1, right? So when you talk to people about your tutorial, about your essay, you're getting your mind to actively think about the subject, talk about it, think about it, instead of just passively reading it or passively listening to a professor. You're also getting their ideas and their input. And when I interact with my fellow peers in my class, I'm always left with better arguments, better input, more creative ideas, and I get to question those ideas that I originally had. And then my ideas end up being more nuanced. Do you agree, Theo? Do you agree with my input?
Yeah, great input.
No, but seriously, talking to other people in your class about whatever it is gives me motivation and also refines my arguments, refines my thoughts, and makes me a better person in uni.
And finally, let's go through some focus hacks, which, you guessed it, helps me stay focused. Okay, so this is actually kind of an accidental hack that I came across. My old phone couldn't charge without me having to turn it off. And so every time I had to charge it, I would have to turn it off and put it in that box. So I'd turn it off, put it in that box, forget about it, and then work super productively for like 3 to 4 hours because I just forgot to think about it, and then I wasn't distracted by notifications, messages, the urge to check TikToks. Let's lock this thing away. You definitely don't need a charge box to do this. Just turn your phone off, put it in your bag, forget it exists, and then start working. And don't turn it on for a couple of hours. Just leave it off, don't think about it. Now let's get to work.
Something I learned in the past year that has helped me so much, especially do those things that I just don't want to do, is the Pomodoro method. Work for 25 minutes. You take a 5-minute break. Basically just like intervals of studying in the same way you do intervals to run. You could literally just Google Pomodoro timer and find a timer online which you can study to. Or what I like to do sometimes is go to study with me videos, so I have a little bit of background noise on my ears and then the video has the Pomodoro timer in it as well. Why I love the Pomodoro method is, one, because it motivates me to start. I know, okay, I just have to do this for 25 minutes, that's it. And in those 25 minutes where you're studying, you know that it's just in those minutes, you can't use your phone, you can't be distracted. The fact that you know it's such a short period and such a short interval makes you think like, oh no, I'm just gonna focus entirely on what I'm doing right now. Finally, zoning out to music, be that classical music or pop music, whatever you can handle, is a way that I at least get motivated. I would say if you start your day super unmotivated, or you have those last few hours of the day where you're just like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to do this, put on an old song, put on an old playlist and just jam it out and you'll see your mood transform instantly. Guys, this song, so many good memories. Like the second I hear the intro, I'm just like, So zoning out to music while you're working, if you can do it, a great motivation as well. And that's it for this video. So thank you for watching. I wish you the best for this upcoming semester and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!